Welcome back, viewers. We were talking to Dr. Ishrat Hussain on his experience as ex-governor, State Bank of Pakistan. Sir, we were talking about the incentives for savings and all that. By design, by nature, or because of our culture, whatever. It was very common with the Indian culture, but now our savings rate are far lower than them.
That's right.
And can we do something to improve that, sir?
I think you have to curtail your own consumption habits. If I earn 1 lakh of rupees and my monthly expenditure is 1 lakh 10, not 90,000, we'll never be able to save. And that's same with the government. Government earns 2 trillion and spends 3 trillion. So that 1 trillion is considered as a negative saving. So even if the private sector is saving 15% of your income and the government is dissaving 7%, you have to subtract that from the 15%. So the major culprit today in Pakistan is the public sector, which is the corporations, public enterprises and the government. That is the major issue.
Sir, let me bring you back to the Islamic Ideology Council, which in 1981 said that Pakistan's economy should be interest-free. What kind of limitations does it impose on State Bank when probably we have not been able to find a solution in 33 years?
We have found a solution. I mean, we introduced Islamic banking in compliance with the directives of the Federal Shariat Court, which is now working quite well, and we could not demolish the entire financial system. So we gave choice to the people of Pakistan whether they want to go for conventional banking or they want to opt for the Islamic banking. So Mizan Bank, Bank Dubai Islamic, Islami Bank Islami, Burj Bank, Al Baraka, these are all 100% Islamic bank, which are regulated by the Sharia boards, and they are doing exactly what is prescribed under the Islamic law. 10% of the financial assets during the last 10 years have now been captured by the Islamic banks. The conventional banks are also going in for windows of Islamic banks or the subsidiaries. I am very confident that in the next 10 years or so, majority of Pakistanis will move towards Islamic banking. But this has to be a gradual, slow process. Otherwise, this economy will completely collapse because the banking system is the foundation on which the whole economy is standing. You cannot take away the foundation.
Sir, but then that means that the segment which holds it against the government of Pakistan, that we have not followed this.
We have. That's what I'm saying.
So the government should say that in loud and clear words.
In 2001, we said that.
Sir.
It was said in public that this is the strategy we are following. And every government has reaffirmed that this is the policy we are following.
Sir, now we come to another question which is very important. Since 1947, the policies we have followed, particularly on the economic side, they are designed for total reliance on borrowing or begging from international agencies. The World Bank report says Pakistan can produce food for 1.2 billion people, and this report is as old as late 90s, 97, 96 time frame. Today, we find that we have not tapped all our resources on agriculture side, on manufacturing side, and therefore we continue to lag behind our potential.
Let me tell you something which I think this has become a cliche. 95% of Pakistan's financing of its own current expenditure and development expenditure is done through domestic sources. At times, the maximum is 5%. So what is 95% that we are doing our own, and only 5% is being taken from abroad? And this is a model which has worked all over the world, that you do not have enough savings of your own, so you supplement it from the foreign savings, invest in the country, build up infrastructure, build up ports. This country in 1950 had 30 million population. we used to produce only 3 million tons of food, which could not feed those people. And we had to have the PL 480 imports, which was a gift from the US government. Today, with the grace of God, we have 180 million people. We are not only self-sufficient, we are the third largest rice exporter in the world. We are self-sufficient in food. We are sixth largest producer of milk in this world. So we have done really remarkably well. So I don't understand why we are always beating on our country and not looking at where we started. This was a land where there was not one single industry. And today we are one of the leading textile exporters in the world.
The aim is to say that we can do much more than this.
Of course, nobody will disagree with you. But you know, we are always keeping our country so down and beating it with a stick, which I consider this something very unhelpful.
Two more questions before we go on to this. One is, in your opinion, have we technically defaulted our loans?
Never.
Because we borrow money to pay off our loans.
No, that's not default at all. This is rollover. And the donors or the borrowers, the lenders, have every right to keep on giving you loans. And this has happened only this time, that the IMF loan was to be repaid with another loan. We repaid the IMF loan even before it was dispersed. In 2004, we did not draw down everything. We said, you give it to somebody else, we don't need your money.
So my last question on that would be, do you find the link between the health of the economy and the state of our stock exchange?
No, there's no relationship between the two. Because the stock exchange is only a very small portion of the people who are
When
trading.
people say this strength shown by the stock exchange is false,
I don't buy that.
Or
I don't buy it.
not real.
Not
No.
real. Real economy has nothing to do with the stock market. I would be very happy when the stock market is flooded with new IPOs, where companies are being formed and they are floated on the stock exchange in order to mobilize resources for expansion, for new projects, for new investment. That is where I look at the stock market, not the trading.
Fine, sir. So now coming back to your present assignment, and the question would be, IBA, an institution of great repute in this country, how do you find it different from other institutes of its type in the world, sir?
I think it is almost the same category as the leading institutions in the world. And the reason why I accepted this challenge was to make it one of the top 100 global business schools in the world. My frustration is that we have highest quality of students who can be admitted by any business school in the world, but we don't have international faculty and we do not have international students. And to become a global business school, you must have international students in the class and international faculty teaching them. Karachi, being so much struck by all these hartals and riots and target killings, has got a very bad name. So people even go to Lahore and to Islamabad to teach and to study, but they're very reluctant to come to Karachi. So this is the misfortune we have. But I can tell you, the standards of IBA are comparable to anyone. We got accreditation from the South Asia Quality Assurance, which are only 6 Indian schools and 2 Pakistani schools. It's very tough. So we stand in that line of business.
So we'll take a short break, and viewers will not talk about the role and performance and the future of IBA. So please stay with us.